From translation, Net New English Translation. This 34th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Leviticus 8 to 10. Leviticus chapter 8, verses 1 to 36. The Lord spoke to Moses. Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, the anointing oil, the sin offering bull, the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread. Then assemble all the congregation at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation assembled at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Moses said to the congregation, "This is what the Lord has commanded to be done." Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward and washed them with water. He put the tunic on Aaron, tied the sash around him, clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him. He also tied the skillfully woven band of the ephod on him, and fastened the ephod to him with it. He placed the breastpiece on him, and put the Urim and Thummim into the breastpiece. Then he set the turban on his head and placed the gold plate on the turban, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses then took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the basin and its stand, to consecrate them. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him to consecrate him. Then Moses brought forward Aaron's sons, clothed them with tunics, tied sashes around them, and wrapped headbands on them, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He brought the sin offering bull before the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the sin offering bull. Moses slaughtered it, took some of the blood with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar to make atonement for it. Then he poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. So he consecrated it to make atonement for it. He took all the fat that was on the entrails and the lobe of the liver and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses offered them all up in smoke on the altar. But the bull, its hide, its flesh, and its dung he burned up outside the camp, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he presented the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses slaughtered it, and sprinkled the blood on the altar all around. Then he cut the ram into pieces, and offered up the head and the pieces in smoke on the altar. He washed the entrails and the legs, and offered them up with the ram on the altar as a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, a gift to the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then he presented the 2nd ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram. Moses slaughtered it, and took some of its blood and put it on the right lobe of Aaron's ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Then he brought Aaron's sons forward, and Moses put some of the blood on the right lobe of their right ear, on the thumb of their right hand, and on the big toe of their right foot, and Moses sprinkled the blood all around on the altar. He took the fat tail, all the fat that was on the entrails, the lobe of the liver, the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. From the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, 1 cake of bread mixed with olive oil and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat parts and on the right thigh. He put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands, and offered them up in smoke on the altar on top of the burnt offering. They were a consecration gift, a pleasing aroma, a gift to the Lord. Moses took the breast and waved it as a wave offering before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood that was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron and his garments, and on his sons and their garments. So he consecrated Aaron, his garments, his sons, and their garments. Moses said to Aaron and his sons, "Boil the meat at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and eat it there with the bread that is in the basket of consecration offerings, just as I have commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons are to eat it. What remains of the meat and the bread you are to burn up completely. For 7 days you must not go beyond the entrance of the tent of meeting, or you will die, because the consecration of the Lord has been completed for 7 days. Just as he has done today, the Lord has commanded to be done to make atonement for you. You must remain at the entrance of the tent of meeting day and night for 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, so that you will not die, for this is what the Lord has commanded." So Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord commanded through Moses. Leviticus chapter 9, verses 1 to 24. On the 8th day Moses summoned Aaron and his sons, and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, "Take for yourself a young bull for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, both without blemish, and present them before the Lord. Then to the people of Israel you shall speak, saying, Take a male goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old without blemish, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for a fellowship offering to sacrifice before the Lord. And a grain offering mixed with oil, for today the Lord will appear to you." So they brought what Moses had commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. Then Moses said, "This is the thing that the Lord commanded you to do, so that the glory of the Lord may appear to you." Moses then said to Aaron, "Come to the altar and make your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and for the people, and bring the offering for the people and make atonement for them, just as the Lord has commanded." So Aaron came to the altar and killed the young bull of the sin offering that was for himself. The sons of Aaron presented the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat, the kidneys, and the lobe of the liver of the sin offering he offered up in smoke on the altar, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The flesh and the skin he burned up outside the camp with the sin offering. Then he killed the burnt offering for himself, and Aaron's sons presented the blood to him, and he sprinkled it all around on the altar. They presented the burnt offering to him piece by piece, along with the head, and he offered them up in smoke on the altar. He washed the entrails and the legs and offered them up with the burnt offering on the altar. Next he presented the people's offering and took the male goat that was for the sin offering, which was for the people, and killed it and offered it as a sin offering, just as he had done previously. He presented the burnt offering and offered it according to the regulation. He presented the grain offering, took a handful of it, and offered it up in smoke on the altar, in addition to the morning burnt offering. Then he presented the ox and the ram for the fellowship offering of the people, and Aaron's sons presented the blood to him, and he sprinkled it all around on the altar. The fat portions of the ox and the ram, the fat tail, the fat that covers the entrails, the lobe of the liver, the 2 kidneys and the fat on them, and the right thigh, from the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, 1 cake of bread mixed with olive oil and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat portions and on the right thigh. He offered up the fat portions and the right thigh as a wave offering before the Lord, just as Moses had commanded. Then Aaron raised his hands toward the people and blessed them. He came down from making the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the fellowship offering. Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Fire came out from before the Lord, and consumed the burnt offering and the fat portions on the altar. When all the people saw it, they shouted and fell with their faces to the ground. Leviticus chapter 10, verses 1 to 20. Now Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, each took his firepan, put fire in it, and added incense, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord meant when he said, 'I will show myself holy among those who are near me, and before all the people I will be glorified.'" And Aaron was silent. Moses summoned Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, "Come forward, carry your brothers away from the front of the sanctuary to a place outside the camp." So they came forward and carried them by their tunics outside the camp, as Moses had said. Then Moses said to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not uncover your heads or tear your clothes, so that you do not die, and that he may not become angry with all the congregation. But your relatives, all the house of Israel, will lament for the fire that the Lord has set ablaze. You must not go out from the entrance to the tent of meeting, or you will die, for the Lord anointing oil is on you." So they did according to the word of Moses. And the Lord spoke to Aaron, "You and your sons are not to drink wine or other intoxicating drink when you go into the tent of meeting, or you will die. This is a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You are to distinguish between the holy and the common, and between the clean and the unclean, and you are to teach the people of Israel all the statutes that the Lord has spoken to them through Moses." Then Moses said to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Take the grain offering that is left over from the Lord's food offerings, and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy. You must eat it in a holy place, because it is your portion and your son's portion from the Lord's food offerings, for this is what I was commanded. But the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the contribution you must eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you. For these have been given as your portion and your son's portion from the sacrifices of the fellowship offerings of the people of Israel. The thigh of the contribution and the breast of the wave offering they are to bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to bring a wave offering before the Lord, and they shall be a perpetual portion for you and your sons with you, for the Lord has commanded it." But when Moses searched diligently for the goat of the sin offering, and found it had been burned up, he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, Aaron's remaining sons. He said to Eleazar and Ithamar, "Why did you not eat the sin offering in the sanctuary area? For it is most holy, and he has given it to you to bear away the guilt of the congregation, to make atonement for them before the Lord. Since its blood was not brought inside the sanctuary of holiness, you should have eaten it in the sanctuary area, as I commanded." But Aaron said to Moses, "Look, today they presented their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord, and such things as these have happened to me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would the Lord have approved? When Moses heard this, he approved.